1999, the year before the millennium, the year where digital cameras began to be seen, but they were still very expensive, and major manufacturers still made compact film cameras. And the one I'm going to talk about now is this Nikon, and it's a Nikon EF 400 SV. I don't know what had happened to the Nikon numbering system, and I have no idea what the EF stands for, but this is what came out in 1999. And it's an interesting camera for a number of reasons. The main reason I find it interesting is because it is such a basic camera, and this came out the same year as the Nikon D1, a highly sophisticated digital camera at the high end, at the highest end basically, and yet Nikon was quite happy to make really cheap, not quite disposable but almost disposable cameras. And I think the main reason was to get the name out there. You know, if you are selling a cheaper camera, Nikon, people will trust it because they know Nikon is also making high-end cameras. But what do we get at this bottom end of the market? Well, we get a very straightforward camera. It is a 28mm lens. 28mm meaning it's a very wide angle lens. We have a big viewfinder. It is, although it doesn't need focusing, it's a fixed focus. It hasn't got automatic focusing on. So what has happened, the manufacturers have reached a fixed focal point where they believe is the sort of average of where people are taking photographs. We have a flash, built-in flash, and you can turn the flash off. It advertises itself as on the front as super viewfinder, where the viewfinder is really bright, large and really clear. So super viewfinder, focus free, red eye reduction. At this stage most people were getting their prints printed, photographs printed, and red eye was quite an issue with film. Red eye is where the flash enables the aperture of the eye to open and you get this redness of the back of the eye, and it can be stopped by having a pre-flash, so your eye open closes and then you can't see the red eye. So we've got a red eye reduction there. Camera is very simple to open up the side here, load the film, automatically loads, and it is point and shoot. It takes 2 AA batteries, so straightforward, but is it any good? Let's see what happened when I took it out and put a film through it. So this was on a very bright August day, and you can see the image is nice and sharp, it's clear. This is a fixed focal camera and you have no focusing on it, and I would expect it to be okay for landscapes, but I have used these type of cameras before and the background has been slightly soft. It's definitely not soft here, as you can see. This is proving to be a very capable camera. This is the roll on and off chain ferry at Studland in Dorset, which connects Studland to a part of Bournemouth known as Sandbanks, where Pontypool. And here the car's getting off. As you can see, this camera is performing absolutely fine. I ponder what it would be like on a dull day, but I was lucky that this was a sharp day, and you can see even here the depth of field is good. I reckon the camera is probably stopping down quite a lot because it is bright. It does seem to have some form of automatic exposure, and the exposures seem on the whole quite good. You see another there's a little bit of light I think has got in on the right hand side, but that could be a processing issue. The lens is nice and wide. It's a 28mm, so that really is very wide angle. So it's great as a point and shoot camera to keep with you in the car, it's good on landscapes, and I would have thought it's quite good for group scenes. Wouldn't it be much good for wildlife or even portraits, but for landscapes and general use, it's proved to be actually quite good because the focus is fixed. As soon as you press the button, you get action. There's nothing, the camera operates. There's nothing for the camera to do. Automatic focusing can sometimes slow a camera up. This camera is, ready to go. And again, this Land Rover is nice and sharp. Maybe if we had a focusing lens, it would be sharper, but it's absolutely passable. The whole camera, I think, is very passable. Again, good depth of field on this image here. Again, I think the aperture is quite small. I'm using Forma Pan 100, which I've developed in ID11, diluted 1:1, and I've scanned on an Epson scanner using full view. I was really pleased with this camera. I was expecting hardly anything from it. There it is, very point and shoot, but if you do find one and you can pick them up at a reasonable price, I think it's quite a good camera to keep handy. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.